Hey everybody, this is Dr. Neil Goodman, MD, Biohacker, with another edition of Nutritional Biohacking to Wellness. I'd like to welcome you to this program where I teach my audience about the benefits of nutrition and nutritional biohacking so that they can be healthier and more resilient to illness and aging, so that they can have not just a longer lifespan, but a longer health span. This may be the single most important health presentation of your life. I call it the Biohacker's Guide to Wellness and Aging. I need to make an FDA disclaimer that I do not make claims to treat, cure, or mitigate disease. Hello, this is Dr. Neil Goodman. I'm a board-certified pediatric and adolescent medicine specialist. I was a former major in the United States Army Medical Corps for 14 years. I was trained at the Medical College of Ohio with my MD degree, and also at The Ohio State University, where I received a microbiology and immunology degree with distinction. I'm also a member of the American Academy of Pediatrics. I'm a member of the American Academy of Anti-Aging in Medicine, and also a member of the Institute of Functional Medicine. I'd like to welcome you to my presentation today. In my last episode, we talked about 3 pathways of cellular activation. I'd like to discuss those again with you. They were the NRF2 pathway, which mainly deals with oxidative stress and is one of the theories of aging. But today we're going to talk about the NRF1 pathway, which involves itself in mitochondrial health and support, and it's also one of our theories of aging. And the third theory of aging that I mentioned at our last discussion was the NAD or sirtuin theory of aging. I think that to move forward to talk about the NRF1 pathway and mitochondrial support, we first have to go back a little bit and rehash some of our subject matter about the oxidative stress theory of aging. So I'm going to digress for a moment and talk about this for those of you who were not able to join me on my last discussion. This will give you some background frame of reference to move forward. If you recall, oxidative stress is the main cause of aging and is also involved in over 200 problems. And in fact, if you look at the National Institutes of Health website, pubmed.gov, you can actually go there and type in oxidative stress in almost any disease process, and you'll have multiple hits. Remember that we can use the science of nutrigenomics, where food actually influences our body, in order to turn on genes that affect our health. So recall that food is code for our bodies. It's more than just nutrition and calories. This is a very important concept. Now, in the last discussion, we talked about PROTANDIM NRF2 Synergizer as being one of the ways that you can activate the NRF2 pathway, which is involved in a genetic expression or signaling pathway to help reduce our oxidative stress. To re-go over some of the subject matter with PROTANDIM NRF2 that makes it so unique is it has the ability to turn on free radical reduction mechanisms to the tune of 1 to 1 million ratio versus 1 to 1 ratio, which is found when you use oral supplements, vitamins, and so forth. In this instance, we're not using it as a vitamin, we're using it as an activator of cellular mechanisms to reduce the oxidative stress that would normally increase from age 20 to age 80 and make it flatline to the level of a 20-year-old or even lower after just 30 days. So in summary, NRF2 is a genetic signaling pathway that can be turned on nutrigenomically using food extracts or products that come or are derived from food in order to reduce our oxidative stress by 40%. After all, we don't want to take antioxidants, we want to make them. It has the capability of fighting free radicals 1 million to 1 in every cell times 37 trillion cells in your body. It does it by increasing SOD, catalase, and glutathione, which are our 3 main primary internal antioxidants. And it activates over 400 other survival genes that help us be healthy. And this then helps the body to detoxify and, quote-unquote, removes the trash buildup from our years of living. So now we're ready to talk about the NRF1 pathway and the mitochondrial theory of aging. The mitochondrial theory of aging is involved in one of the 4 core pillars of health and is influenced by the NRF1 signaling pathway. The mitochondria is an extremely important cellular organelle that's responsible for producing 95% of the energy that's used by the body. It produces ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is essentially our body's cellular fuel. It generates this from the food that we eat. And this then helps to support heart health, muscle growth, and maintains healthy brain function, since these organs have the greatest number of mitochondria. Now, if you recall, free radicals damage the cellular instruction set, or DNA, of the cell. But they not only affect that, they also affect the mitochondria. And when they affect the mitochondria, which is that pink object that's off to the left of the screen, that mitochondria affects your ability to metabolize and also your energy production. This is what a damaged mitochondria looks like. It's extremely unhealthy here, but realize that each of your cells has anywhere from 200 to maybe even 1,000 different mitochondria that help that cell to generate energy. Now, if this is a blown up example of the cell, you see those mitochondria that are indicated by the arrows, and this is just a cell showing 3. Now, if these mitochondria suddenly were to disappear, that cell is essentially left with no ability to produce energy. Even though it has a full instruction set, it is essentially dead. The reason it's dead is because it cannot conduct any of its normal cellular activities without that energy source. So essentially, this is like destroying the cell from the inside out. Free radical damage and oxidative stress takes its toll on the cell and essentially destroys the mitochondria bit by bit until the cell is no longer able to generate any more energy. So if you think about it, when you have decreased mitochondria, you have decreased metabolism. Well, if you have decreased metabolism, you have decreased energy, and subsequently your body is not as efficient at burning fuel. So the result of that is that we have a tendency to gain weight as we get older because we also have less mitochondria. If we have decreased energy, we also have decreased ability to heal ourselves. Every healing aspect of the body requires energy. And we also need energy in order to support our brain health, which is involved in thinking, emotion, action, and our focus. And when we don't have it, we have brain fog. We can't think as clearly. So this is where PROTANDIM NRF1 Synergizer comes in. PROTANDIM NRF1 Synergizer was engineered to turn on the NRF1 signaling pathway, which turns on a protein that increases the number of mitochondria in the cells. It protects the mitochondria from damage, and it supports cell rejuvenation. And it also supports ATP energy formation, which I mentioned before is important in both brain, heart, and blood formation functions, and improves cellular metabolism, obviously, because you need energy. So this was actually engineered to help us live healthier, and it includes a number of different organic and natural items, which include acetyl L-carnitine, coenzyme Q10, alpha-lipoic acid, grape extract, and quercetin. All of these have been shown and are indicated to increase both mitochondrial reproduction, mitochondrial support, and mitophagy, which means removal of dead mitochondria from the cells. Now, this works because we activate the NRF1 protein. It boosts mitochondrial production, as I mentioned before, and it also increases your ATP formation, which the cell needs. So the two products together, PROTANDIM NRF1 Synergizer, which I just spoke about, and PROTANDIM NRF2 Synergizer, which helps to reduce the body's overall oxidative stress by 40% within 30 days, are just two of the components of the Vitality Stack, which is a larger grouping of advantageous products for cellular health. And we'll talk about some of those other products later. But just realize that you have the ability to biohack the aging code now. This is the reality. This is the future of medicine. These are preventative and therapeutic breakthroughs going forward that are unlike any other products in the market. And I appreciate your attention today, and thank you for joining me on this presentation.